Tēnā koe. This is Eugene here from Dirt Church Radio. We interrupt normal transmission to bring you this bonus episode. Now, this is episode 1 of our DCR AidStation podcast, the new podcast that we have as part of the subscriber content that we're offering. If you want to sign up, you can find it on our Substack. I'll put the link in the show notes. But we thought we'd give our DCR audience a taste of what it's all about. So this is a podcast that's going to be coming out on the weeks that you don't get Dirt Church Radio. So Dirt Church Radio 1 week, DCR AidStation the other week, but DCR AidStation is subscriber content. But yeah, have a listen, see if you enjoy it. If you do, consider signing up. Enjoy.
Dirt Church Radio.
What are you going to talk about, Matt?
I want to bring the world my infinite reckons on trail running.
Do you reckon the world needs more reckons?
I don't reckon they've heard my reckons.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you go for it?
Kia ora and welcome to the AidStation podcast, which is myself, Matt Raymond.
And me, Eugene Bingham. Tēnā koutou katoa. No, mate. Haere, mate.
From Dirt Church Radio. And this is our special new subscriber only from February podcast that we're putting out to augment the always free, always was, always will be Dirt Church Radio podcast.
Yeah. We launched last week with our newsletter, which is chock full of all kinds of interesting stuff, including book club, greatest trail ever, the Stoke. Quite happy with the Stoke, actually. But this is the AidStation podcast component of it that we promised you. So yeah, it's free for the month of January, but then after that, if you subscribe for $8 a month or $80 a year, and that's in New Zealand dollars, by the way, if you're listening from overseas, so it's, I haven't done the conversions. Have you done the conversions?
It's good and cheap, regardless. Like in lots of places, it's a bargain. You're getting your money's worth. But look, head to you can on our social media at our website, dirtchurchradio.com, or go to dirtchurchradio.substack.com. Sign up, subscribe, and get this goodness. But yeah, like we said, if you don't prefer to do that, the usual serving of the Dirt Church Radio podcast will be
carries along.
Yeah,
so this is all extra. And you know what's also normal is we've been running.
Yes, absolutely. We've been
You've
running.
just been doing some cool running.
Yeah, I've just been doing some cool running. It's been...
Cool running, huh?
I'm more John Candy than Jamaican bobsledder. But I've just been up to Lee, and so stayed the week.
Which is north of Auckland, isn't
it? It's about an hour and a bit north of Auckland on the east coast there, and running around there with Rebecca, who is training for Tarawera 50k, and it was one of the first runs that I've had probably since November, where I felt halfway decent. So it's been a long road back, and
you had that bout of COVID after we got back from Australia, and just Christmas and work
just
and
life, But it was lovely. So it was a very relaxing couple of days. And a while ago we interviewed Rod Dixon.
That's going back into the archives.
That is over 200 episodes ago, and he grew up in Lee, and we found that all the coastal trails that we were running around. And I was thinking, would he have run these trails? And the answer more than likely would have been yes, and a lot quicker than we did. But it was. I
think this. Please don't quote me on this, dear listeners. But I think Alison Rowe has been involved in connecting up lots of those trails up there. Alison Rowe being another New York Marathon winner from Aotearoa, New Zealand.
There we go.
There you go. That's the connection. Rod and Alison come together to make trails for you and your family.
For my enjoyment.
That's pretty good.
You've been training up Storm.
Yeah, well, I've been going okay, and I've been enjoying it. Although on Saturday I did a 30k run, which ended with a swim because I was just absolutely melted.
Yeah. The humidity the heat has been exceptional. There's been, I can't remember a time like it. And, jumped in the car before, it was 35 degrees in my little corner of the world.
Yeah,
It's too hot.
God, it is too hot. It is too hot. But the reason we've been training is we're heading down to Old Ghost Ultra, which was my bucket list race last week. And Ruth Croft, I heard from, is very excited that we're going down.
Great.
Yes, I think that means she's going to get off her back now, which is good because she's been hassling us for so long that we haven't done it. But we have been training up a storm for that purpose. And so last year I signed on to Squad Run with Kerry Suter and Ali Pottinger and have been training with them since late last year. And the training's been going really good. And obviously this is coming up to my first race. And we caught up with them for the next episode of Dirt Church Radio, which will be coming out next Wednesday, which is a preview of the Tarawera race and just catch up with how those guys are going. But in the course of that, it was a bit of a public stoush and got a bit weird.
Yeah, it got awkward. I excused myself from the conversation while your trail running mummy and daddy fought over basically whether you should, continue to be a day boy or be a boarder.
I know, it got a little bit awkward. So should we just play the audio?
Yeah.
And Eugene's on fine form, so he's going to just he's going to blow that Old Ghost to pieces.
Oh, now listen, you guys, you mentioned that there's some discussion about my sharpening.
Matt, might want to wait in the car. Mum and Dad are fighting. Ali had written up your last sort of 4 or 5 weeks of training, and she said, "Oh, Kerry, just want to have a quick look at this." And so I sort of scrolled through, and I like it. Yeah. She's an incredibly qualified, capable, smart coach, and I love what she does. But I was like, I'm like, but if it was me, it'd be a lot, a sharpened block, mate. Like I see training blocks, macro cycles, sort of a little bit polarizing. That we do a big base build and then we chuck the miles away, and I get the whip out, and I wanted to flog it. To be honest, I had a lot of. If she had instead said to me, "Can you make some changes to Eugene's sharpening block? I'm not happy with it," you would have seen a lot more progression runs, tempo runs, and finish fast long runs in there. And I don't know how did that end? Have you gone back and
you've got the best of both worlds, I think, Eugene. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Some kid gloves, but also if you feel a bit of the lash, that's me. Don't you worry. Good one. It should be fun.
The hand of Kerry. Cool. Look forward to it. Yeah. So if I get a flogging, it's thanks to Kerry.
There we go. Squad Run, they're not angry.
I can assure you that Ali does not dish out kid glove type treatment either, by the way.
No, I bet.
No easy sessions there anyway. Well, there are. They're when you're supposed to be. But anyway, that was, so I guess we'll see on the day.
We will see on the day. Squad Run, they're not angry, they're just disappointed. Anyway, look, moving on. The Revenant. Speaking of people being both angry and disappointed.
And your coach was down there.
Yes, absolutely. Adam Keane getting amongst it as per usual. He does love an event, so got out and I think tapped out on his second lap.
Yeah.
So which is
he keeps going back, doesn't he?
He keeps going back. It'd be interesting to pick his brain. Lots of people keep going back. Lots of people keep going back.
So you can check out, but you can never leave. Yeah, so it was on at the weekend. It's, in case you haven't heard of it, it's a 200-kilometre ultra adventure run with 16,000 metres of vertical ascent at Welcome Rock in Southland. And it's had, more people have landed on the moon, et cetera, et cetera. In the 6 years, there's only been 4 finishes until this year. And then this year we had 2 finishes, including Finn Mitchell from Lumsden, who's 18 years old, just finished high school. Well, and Darren Jones from Nelson. I think he's a surveyor.
Right.
So presumably he was good at the
map and compass aspect of it.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. 18 years old, 200K, self-supported, incredibly difficult, incredibly challenging. They made them notate on blank maps this year. Map and compass, no GPS, no cell phone, nothing. No assistance from crew in the transition area. So fantastic achievement. Another exceptional race. Again, sort of in the mid North Island, the Goat celebrated its 20th anniversary on the weekend, and that is one of the toughest races on the calendar. It's 22K, but you'd feel every millimetre of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Like winning times around 2 hours. It's just, hurts your feelings, doesn't it? I saw plenty of people sort of reporting, as happens every year, that was much harder than I thought it was going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah. But everyone has fun. And there was some great racing, but also some great moments. Number one, the retirement of Enia Roimate's goat outfit. I think it's been 4 times around, so presumably it just walked off itself.
Yes. Yep. Ugh, yuck. There's no words to describe how nasty that goat suit would have been.
Yeah, yeah. And number 2, did you see that there was 2 guys broke down on the side of the road on Friday night driving there? Tom and Tom. One of them had flown from Brisbane. I think it was Tom. Anyway, they were stranded on the side of the road. Then they put out a call, please help. And 2 OGs of the race who have been there since 2004, Kim and Wendy, they went and rescued them and got them to the start line. Bloody legends. Anyway, look, we don't need to go into all the results, but there were a couple of remarkable things. One, Maya Flint, who was in the youngest goat woman, was second overall, which was an impressive run. And then, how about this? Sours Corporal, who has, dominated the goat so many times he should have naming rights. He was pipped by about 90 seconds by his son, Kaya. So, who was on dishes duty that night might have been awkward. But anyway, look, we should get on with it because there were some things that we wanted to talk to about. And actually, Matt, you had a question you wanted to pose me. So let's get into it.
Are you a resolutions person? Are you a process person, or are you a goals person?
Well,
and everything you read about either one of these 3, there's stuff out there that says this is the best thing since sliced bread, and there's also stuff out there that says actually no, it's the other thing. Don't do that, do this.
Yeah. I'm someone who I think I would like to be a resolution type person. I remember once in my 20s I got to this, I thought I'm going to do this every year, so this is how long it lasted. Sit down on December the 31st and write down what I'm going to be doing next year, and keep this diary of what I've done this year and then what I'm going to do next year.
Right.
Lasted 1 year. So
right.
I think that tells you I'm not a resolutions person.
Yes.
Probably. I do like the idea of coming up with resolutions and then sticking to them, but I just don't do it. But what I do love is a good process.
Right.
Again, goals, I don't know. I joked when I said I quit a day. It sounds like my kind of day, but and I've written about this in the newsletter today. I kind of talk myself out of things quite a bit, and I will talk myself out of goals really easily.
Right.
Like, oh no, I can't do that. But my way around it is, the way I trick myself is I use processes. And listeners to Dirt Church Radio over the years will have heard me talking about this sort of campaign approach that I really like taking.
Yes.
And so that's where I kind of trick myself into, I'm not chasing a goal here. I'm in a campaign to do something, and it's all part of these things, and there's all these different component parts to it. So does that make me a process person?
Can you have a process without a goal?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. No, I guess you could.
You could.
Yeah. You could, but you probably do need a goal, don't you, to be. Yeah. So maybe I need the 2 of them together.
So how did you decide, so let's look at, say, Old Ghost Road.
Yes.
That's a goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what attracts you to specific goals?
Well, that one's just because it looks like such an amazing race, and that everyone who runs it just bangs on about how great it is. I remember our friend Sean Cooper.
Yes.
When did one of the early ones, may have even been the first one.
Yeah.
And then basically will not shut up about it.
Right.
He just absolutely loves it. And, Sean is not someone who, goes on about things.
No, he's a man of few words.
He is. Every word is golden. And so for somebody like Sean to be
effusive
about a race speaks volumes to me. I quite like, here we go, getting honest, but I'm not sure that I want to do the huge distances anymore.
Right.
And I quite like the 80 kilometre distance, 85 kilometre distance.
Listen to us. Oh.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want to do the big distances. Yeah, 5K for some people is a big distance. That's right. And we respect that. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I want to chase those 100K, 100-mile distances anymore.
Yes.
Well, right now, I don't want to. I'm not saying they're off the table forever. So there's the appeal of that too, is, okay, it's still a meaty goal in terms of a race and distance of a race, but it's achievable. And the way I do it is approach it as a campaign.
Right.
Also because we're doing it together. Yeah. And, a few other people are going down as well. Conrad's going down. A few other people are going down. So it should be good to catch up with some people down there.
Yep.
It'll be the week after Tarawera, so probably not good tapering for us in that we're going to be standing on a start line for hours upon end.
Yep.
But, yeah. What about yourself? Goals, processes, resolutions. Whose camp are you in?
I think I'm much more I think I'm quite like you, is that I can talk myself out of things really easily.
Yeah.
But there's other things that once I get my teeth into, I will stick to them with almost an obsessional, an obsessional sort of intensity. So and how they play on each other, I think it's when a goal feels congruent, it feels easier. So when it feels right, like you have a goal in your head.
What do you mean by congruent?
Does it align with my values? Does it align with I think about, like, say, in running life, and I did exactly what every single other human being, well, not actually what every single other human being did. I did what lots of people do, say with Tarawera, for instance, and this is, back in 2014, 2015, got super excited, super involved, super engaged, trained a lot, probably at the wrong time in terms of family spend, the wrong time in terms of, for me, having the means for the race. And whilst it was an amazing experience, I learned a lot. It's not something that I sort of went back to for a long time, and because it didn't feel congruent to my life. So if you have those, if I think about something and I think I'm going to do this, and I weigh all those things up, does it fit with my life? Is it congruent? Will it push me in the right ways? Will it feed the things that I know are helpful for me, or will it feed the things that I know are unhelpful for me? Makes it very easy then to kind of set your mind to a process.
Yeah. That's interesting you should say that, in that whenever people say to me, oh, what's your next goal?
Yes.
I usually respond with, well, my only goal that matters is I still want to be running and enjoying running when I'm older and greyer.
Yes.
And that's my number one priority.
Yeah.
So, like, am I going to go and run something that's I know is going to destroy me and stop me running for weeks on end? No, because it, ultimately it will stop me enjoying running, and that's my number one goal.
Yes.
So I guess it's kind of similar to what you were saying.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting, and I mean, I think about a goal that I've set for 2025, and again, is it a congruent one? Yes, it is. Do I have the means? Do I have the family spend? Do I have all those things? Do I have the headspace for it? Yes, I do. Part of the thing that stopped me thinking about stuff like that in the past is what will be the time away from running afterwards? Will I be able to and that's the thing too, will I be able to manage myself? Will I be able to be disciplined and process driven in my recovery, or jump back in too quickly and, sort of get injured? And I think that in the end of 2023, and I did 2 ultramarathons in 8 weeks. I did a 60K and I did a 100K, and then I did a 60K.
Yeah.
100K went very well.
At Blue Lake?
Yeah, at Blue Lake. And, 96K or 94K.
I saw your Strava. You 106K.
It was 106 on the Strava. And then the 60K felt, that was a lot. It was a lot more. It was a harder course. It was more technical. It was all this sort of stuff. And the cumulative recovery from that has been quite challenging. You know, I didn't think it would be because I felt super good going throughout, felt super trained, all that stuff. But thinking about managing that.
Yeah.
But then again, that's for me as well, thinking about a process leading up to a goal. Not being so obsessional by thinking if I do this thing that I want to do, having that time off, that lends itself to that goal as well, the fulfillment of that goal, and then moving on to other processes rather than thinking, no, I'm a runner, I have to be doing this, I have to be doing this. Yeah. It's tied up with identity.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing for lots of us, isn't it? Especially those of us who've run for a while, is very much part of our identity. Yeah. And I mean, so like for this year in terms of races, I will say that COVID kind of got me out of the habit of entering races.
Right. I think it got a lot of people out of the habit of entering races.
And I just sort of thought, I got back to kind of like, I actually just like running. I don't, sometimes I don't even enjoy racing. It's actually the training that I enjoy and hanging out with my mates and doing those kind of runny things regularly rather than the actual races. But so I did get out of it, the habit of it. So this year I have entered Old Ghost and I'll go back to Rotorua where I will be doing my 15th this year.
Wow.
Joining the Survivors Club and pacing the 4 hour again. Touch wood, as long as everything goes to plan. So I'm looking forward to that. But beyond that, I don't know. And in years gone by, I might have been in a bit of a panic and going, what are the races? I've got to do U2K. I've got to do Kepler. I've got to do, all sorts of races that sorry, I'm just having a brain explosion. Can't think of one. Name one race. Don't know. Root burn. Yeah. Or exteriors or Wild Auckland races or whatever. But now I'm like, okay, I'll just see what really takes my fancy.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? We're going down to Old Ghost. I would be, and I think it's appropriate. I'd be lying to say I felt excited about it.
Right.
I feel a great deal of apprehension about it
because
I haven't
COVID. And,
everything like that. I feel, and there's always that thing about you have your absolute kind of negative hat on, and you go, I can't. Eugene's trained really well for it, and it's not like I haven't been running. I have been running. I've been running really consistently, but it's just not been, I've often carrying injuries or whatever, but you just kind of get into that panic, negative space. I think the thing, I'm excited this year, so I am really excited about going back to Blue Lake.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about going back to Blue Lake because that is it's a family experience. We hire a camper van, we go down. Rebecca runs, Lola runs, and Lily now runs as well.
Yeah.
So
it's on the family calendar.
Yeah. So that's
for those of you who don't know, that's in September.
Last week. Last week is September.
It's around the Blue Lake in Rotorua.
Lake Tikitapu. 6K course. It's 24 hours. Was called off at about 15 hours last year due to the weather. And what would have been sort of my goal race for the year will now be me. I'll do the qualifying distance for Tarawera or, see if I can improve. Well, I will improve upon my time for that. And the other one, I am excited if we get the chance to go down, and I'm hopeful if we get the chance to go down and do Kepler. I'd quite like to have another bash at that again. But with a free, it's interesting too, if goals, like why do we do things?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I'm super happy that I have for instance, I'm super happy that I've got a Kepler 5-year medal.
Yes.
Right? And I set myself a goal during that last race that if I didn't, people will know I was super sick, whatever. But I set myself that goal that if I don't finish, that I was going to withdraw. I had a job interview on the Tuesday, and my goal was that job interview. The process was finishing Kepler. If I hadn't have finished Kepler, I made a pact to myself I would withdraw from my job interview on the Tuesday because I didn't want to. If I couldn't do Kepler, I'd never be able to do the job. and, then went to that job interview with my medal tucked in my pocket, which was really nice. I didn't wear it on my neck. That would have been
holding out like backstage pass.
Exactly. Let me through, please. 5-year medal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dan Jones also got his 5-year medal at the same time.
Yeah. He and I equals. Do you know him?
Exactly. We both got 5 Kepler finishes. Not sure how many times I've won it, but how many times have he won it? 5. Yeah. Yes. More than me.
Yeah.
Anyway, this podcast isn't about stats, it's about reckons. that goal of getting that 5 Kepler, great, so nice.
Well, there you go.
The process of getting those, terrible. Like, more often than not, my races to Kepler have been not the best.
Yeah. Well, and I don't want to sort of preempt what we talk about next week, but in our conversation with Kerry and Ellie about tarawera and the best way to prepare for it, they talk about making sure you have your why lined up.
Yeah.
And I sort of chipped in with a sort of a warning to people to make sure that the why is not connected to a time or a place goal, because I have been in situations where my races have been basically ruined because I had a why goal which was heavily tied to a time. And one of them was Kepler, the last time we ran Kepler.
Right.
And I still had a good race there. If you look at it in terms of, performances and da-da-da, but it wasn't I didn't hit my time goal.
Right.
And I beat myself up about it.
You did.
I had sore feelings about it.
We were sad Harrys.
We were. And it's stupid. It's so stupid.
I don't think it's stupid. I think that you had every reasonable right to expect that, and for whatever, and it was still a very respectful time. And I had what was keeping me going was I was like, man, Eugene's going to be smashing it. And then I felt kind of bad. I was like, oh, he's going to be waiting. He's going to be cold. And I went, no, actually, he'll be cool, but isn't it funny? Like we had, the other thing with goals is how funny, and I think it's for both of us, why can't you just shut up and enjoy it?
Exactly.
Why can't you just shut up and enjoy it?
And so maybe there's something about sort of imposing a goal upon yourself that robs you of enjoyment.
Can you have a goal though? Like so again, and it's not to tease, and it's not, and if it's not this week, like I have, I've made a pact that I'm going to do the Tarawera 100-mile race in 2025. Like that's what I really want to do, the Tarawera Ultra Trail race. And I mean, for those who know me, like I said, I think the last time I did a race associated with Tarawera was the Tarawera 50, actually, way back when I got medically withdrawn at Berry Village, and before that was, I think, 2017. So, and predominantly run smaller, more grassrooty types events. And the goal for me is, and this sounds funny, it's not FOMO, but that sort of cultural thing of we're so intertwined with the place, lived down there, and also every single one of my friends has done it. And it's not about like not wanting to be the odd man out, but I feel ready for that. Right. And I think that's a really nice thing too,
Yeah, because I had, and obviously I still do, had respect for you when for years I know that people were like, come on, you've got to do the 100-mile, and you were just like, no, I just don't want to. And I was totally, and cheered you on with that. But now you're ready.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that.
The time is now.
Yeah, that year campaign. Did you make any? So you didn't make any resolutions?
No resolutions. My running goals for this year are Old Ghost, Rotorua Marathon, 4-hour pacing, Survivors Club. Beyond that, don't know. Yeah.
I had I've made 2 resolutions this year, and I'm sticking to them. I have not quit yet. Yes. One of them was, do not use my car to get to runs if I cannot help it.
Oh, I like that one.
So run to your runs.
Yes.
So we meet at predominantly our trail runs are at Riverhead. Yeah. I live in Riverhead.
So every run now you're going to be saying, can you come to my house?
Can you come to my house? Yeah, we'll start from Beekeepers. Not necessarily, but
I'm up for that.
There's a trail now that's opened in the forest. It's reopened. It was logged very heavily, and
it's possibly the greatest trail ever.
Yeah, it was Gucci Trail, and it's reopened now, and it's a completely different beast. But it means that I can run from my house.
I like it.
To the trail.
Funny you should say that. Yesterday, I went out to Riverhead, and I was driving out there on a Sunday morning, going, "Why do I have to get in my car to go?
Yeah,
maybe I should be riding my bike there." I don't know. It's kind of going to need to think it through because it adds on some level of complication in that. I don't know if you want to be leaving a bike at the trailhead.
Could park it at my house.
True. This is your cunning plan.
We could run from Big Eb's Way.
Conveniently.
Anyway.
Yeah. That's the one. What was the other one?
Start more books.
Right.
Not finish more books. Well, this is the thing because, a busy life, but I have started just enjoying picking up books, and I've probably got...
You're a great reader too.
3. Yeah, I can do it in my head, everything. But but I do get stuck on things
Still have your finger on the words.
I do get stuck on things that... So for me, I find that when I get stuck with books, I get stuck reading things that are an escape for me. So end of last year, or things are tough at work, things are blah blah blah. So at night I'll read a Terry Pratchett book, which is a real escapist. But what I'm doing is being more like going out of my not comfort zone. Well, I guess it is comfort zone, but reading things that I've read before, or I might have read like 30 years ago, or reading other things, and a whole range of different stuff. So start more books.
That's a good one.
Give myself the permission to fail on the finishing, but start more books.
That's a good one. And is that a nice segue for us?
Yeah, it's a great segue for us.
So we should wrap things up. We said to ourselves that we keep these to about 30 minutes, and it's around about that. So, but we just wanted to highlight that one of the things in the newsletter, if you haven't seen it, and it's something we've talked about for a long time, isn't it? So we're quite excited ourselves that it's finally here, is the DCR Book Club. And so we've had our first 2 entries.
Yes.
I went with the opening entry of Everything is Beautiful and Everything Hurts by Josie Shapiro. It's a novel about running, and it is based around a character called Mickey who falls in love with running and achieves incredible stuff, and then for a variety of reasons, which I won't spoil, falls out of love with running. And there's a kind of a, bit of a warning in there for all of us, I think. But then she finds her way back to it and remembers the enjoyment of running. And so it's sometimes I remember at some points of the race I didn't race through it, of the book, thinking this was supposed to be a thing about enjoying running, and it's the opposite. But then, of course, she does come back to enjoying running again. And so it is a love story, because love stories are not simple. And, it's not the Hollywood version of love always, is it? And so sometimes running isn't easy to us. But anyway, I'd recommend you read it. And that's the first of our books in the book club. We're going to have a bunch more. We would love it for you to get involved. Send us your books, the running books that you love. Jump in the comments. Tell us what your goals are and what your intentions are. And most of all, if you're enjoying this content, sign up to subscribe. And when I say content, I hate that word content. I mean the newsletter and the podcast. Sign up. So then you're going to get it in your box every Wednesday, with the newsletter every week, and then alternate weeks, the DCR podcast, and the other weeks, the AidStation podcast. So hope you're enjoying it. Thank you to everyone who's already signed up. We're blown away. Really, really appreciate it. Stay tuned. Ka kite anō. Thanks, Rigby.